Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today's What's for Dinner video is a little bit different than my typical What's for Dinner videos, but I've got lots of meal ideas that are really super easy and simple. We were cleaning out stuff from the freezer, cleaning out stuff from the fridge, but we were still eating. So there's still meal ideas that you can use, and so I hope you enjoy it, and hopefully I'll have time before too long to cook some different stuff, which I kind of miss, but it's just what has been going on lately. So let's get into this week's dinners. Actually, they were done over a course of like 2 weeks, but let's get into the video. All right, so we are starting off with the easiest here. We've got some Mama Cozy's Rising Crust Pizza from Aldi and some of their wings. I'll be honest, we don't care for the wings. Those we bought a while back, and that was what was left over in the freezer, and I just wanted to use them up. I won't buy those again, but Mama Cozy's, my husband's a big fan of Mama Cozy's. We don't do frozen pizza often, but if we do, Mama Cozy's is what he wants. So that was what was for dinner that night. Now for this next night's dinner, we have some shredded barbecue beef that was in the freezer, I think from a roast that I had made that we shredded up and seasoned for barbecue. And the rest of it I just put in the freezer, and I'm heating it up on the stove with a little bit of butter to make sure it doesn't burn, and also just to give it a little bit more flavor, kind of freshen it up a little bit. Added in a little bit more barbecue sauce. This is from Aldi, and it is a seasonal item, this particular barbecue sauce, so if you want to try it, get it while it's out. And I'm just heating that up. Like I said, we're going with easy theme, have been for a little while. We have these keto-friendly buns that are from Aldi. We don't eat specifically keto-friendly, but we like those. Anyways, those were left over in the freezer as well. And then I had some Italian pasta salad. And I have a video where I made some summer salads that will be linked below for you to check out. And then for the next night, I'm making some taco seasoning. You can screenshot that. I will also have it written out below for you because how I'm making it here makes it look more complicated than it was. I was rushed because my meat was already cooked, and I realized I didn't have any more taco seasoning, so I was just whipping this up really quick, and I used the wrong measuring cups because I was trying to not dirty as many, so I had to go back and add more chili powder. Anyway, just follow the recipe, but it is 1/2 cup of chili powder, 1/4 cup of onion powder, 1/8 cup of cumin, and then a tablespoon each of garlic powder, paprika, and salt. Obviously, you don't have to be super specific or super neat during this process. Our kitchen was a full mess from grocery day. I hadn't put everything together yet, so my counters were full. I'm trying to put the salt in the measuring cup instead of the measuring spoon. I was working on the table while my husband was chopping up veggies, and I was trying to clean up the kitchen at the same time. Anyways, this is a really, really good taco seasoning, and this batch will last a while. And so it's about 2 to 3 tablespoons. I usually do about 3 for equal to a pack of taco seasoning. I'm also adding in about 3/4 cup of water. I know a lot of people do that. I didn't ever used to add water when making my taco meat, but I usually just left a little bit of the grease in. But the meat we have is extremely lean, and there isn't ever any grease. In fact, I have to put oil in the pan to cook it. So I am adding in about 1/2 teaspoon to a teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes, and finish stirring that all together, letting everything kind of sit. And now we've got our taco meat. So for dinner on this night, we were having nachos, and I've got my husband assembling these. We love these blue corn tortilla chips from Aldi. They are our favorite. And how we like to do nachos is we do it right off the pan. We cook it on the pan, we eat it off the pan. Sorry for all the stuff in the camera shot. Like I said, it was a night, and my husband had a very small space to work with. I was trying to clean up around him. So we just put the tortilla chips, some meat, and some shredded cheddar on, you could use any cheese you wanted, but in the oven at 400 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes until the cheese is melted, and then we add on our toppings. So we add on some shredded lettuce and some tomato. As you can see, I go lighter on my side than my husband's side of the nachos, and then he added on some diced up onions as well as some avocado. But obviously you could do these individual on plates or just add whatever toppings you wanted. We were just kind of keeping it simple. Put on a few dollops of sour cream on top. My husband likes this taco sauce from Ortega, and I always like to add on this chili lime seasoning from Trader Joe's. I'm hoping other stores start making this just like they did the everything but the bagel seasoning, because I don't really go to Trader Joe's that often, but I love this seasoning. And that was it. This was our feast this night, and it made for easy cleanup, and it was super good. So now we're moving on. We have some steaks, and I believe these were ribeyes. I'm not positive, but we purchased a half of a cow, and so we have all different types of meat, all different cuts, and I don't always remember what we had. But I believe these were ribeyes, and I'm just seasoning them with salt, onion powder, and garlic powder, and letting them kind of rest at room temperature until my husband was ready to grill them. And I do believe that makes a big difference. You don't want to put cold steaks on the grill. So I'm just seasoning it and covering it and letting it sit. And then a little while later, we were getting ready for dinner, and we were having a summer dinner here. So I've got some boiling water that I'm seasoning with some salt, and we are cooking up some corn on the cob. I love corn on the cob. I know it's got like no nutritional value. And yeah, but it's good, and it cooks in like 3 minutes. Also served with dinner was this loaded potato salad that is also in the summer salad video. That is linked below with the Italian pasta salad. My husband usually cuts up the steaks into smaller steaks to cook them because we like them cooked very differently. I like mine more well done. He likes his super rare. So as you can see, we're moving through these meals really quickly because they're more or less meal ideas, very few recipes. That's not always how my What's for Dinners look, but that is just how this week's meals went. And these meals are actually over not just a week, over a few days, or probably a couple weeks combined. But I still figured I would film them for you and still give you meal ideas. So what we're doing is using our leftover taco meat and making taco salads. We always do ours in these big Tupperware containers because it makes it easier to stir them up and mix everything together. My husband normally does this. He's better at chopping than I am, and he's better at ratios, but he was busy working on stuff, and so I was like, I'll just do it. I just kept kind of showing his bowl and making sure it was the right ratios. So what we typically do in our taco salads is lettuce and tomato. We often do cucumber, honestly, if we have it on hand, but I did not, and we were in a phase of just trying to clean out the fridge, preparing to get away for a couple of days. So you'll see a couple of these meals, it's like, well, there wasn't a lot of this, but we just added it in. That's kind of what we were doing here. So I shredded up some cheese. We prefer freshly grated cheese, but obviously you don't have to do that. And then some avocado. So pardon the angles here. We were both kind of assembling our meals, the rest of our meal at the same time. I called him over to do his. So I put some taco meat and cheese on mine, and he added the avocado, taco meat, and cheese. I'm in the back there adding some crushed blue corn tortilla chips. He ended up having his chips on the side, so you don't see them in this. And then I was pulling out, there was a yellow corn tortilla and chip in my blue corn tortillas, and I thought that was interesting. So I added on some sour cream and more of this chili lime seasoning, and my husband was adding on some sour cream, and then he also added on this salsa. It's a chipotle lime salsa, I believe. Yeah, this is from Aldi. I think it's one of their special buys. No, it's not. I think they have it all the time. I take that back. And then the taco sauce, and he was seeing me showing everything to you guys, and so he was kind of being obnoxious pointing that out, but thanks, hun, for trying to help me film. And this was the dinner on this night. A really easy taco salad, and also kind of cleaning out the fridge for whatever veggies we had left. Now for this last meal, I'm making some mashed potatoes. It was a little bit more than we really needed for the two of us, but I was again trying to use it all up. And this was the last dinner we were making. We were home for another couple of days, but the other nights we were just having leftovers, and we were at a picnic and all of that. So yeah, we're just making it all up, and I ended up eating the rest of it for lunches and stuff like that. So not wanting to waste any food before we go away. So we are boiling up the potatoes for mashed potatoes and steaming up some broccoli, just some frozen broccoli. I actually was planning to do fresh, but the fresh stuff I had already gone bad, which was a bummer. So we like our potatoes just roughly smashed. We like chunks in it. So that's how I'm doing it. I didn't have a lot of sour cream left, so I added in just a little bit, and then I added in some butter. I think I ended up adding in a total of like 4 tablespoons. It was a lot of mashed potatoes. I normally would add in a little bit of milk, but I didn't want to open up an almond milk right before we headed out, and we didn't have one that was open. That's not true. We had a vanilla one that was open. I wasn't going to put that in my mashed potatoes. So now we're seasoning with salt, garlic powder, and onion powder, and mixing it all together. And again, my mashed potatoes kind of come out differently a little each time based on what I have on hand, but that's what we did. So we had some mashed potatoes, some steamed broccoli, and then I pulled out some chicken that I had from a rotisserie chicken that I had pulled off the bone and thrown in the freezer. And so I just pulled this chicken out of the freezer and thawed it, and we added on a little bit of barbecue sauce, which you don't see here, but another super quick and easy dinner for those busy weeknights. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for today's video. Once again, if you like What's for Dinner videos, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new so you don't miss out on my future videos, and I'll see you next time.